way, I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial.
And AM 610, the Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, the NBA playoffs will begin next Saturday with the play-in tournament. Games down the stretch matter, and there were big ones last night, certainly. But it is the team that won the championship just 2 seasons ago who made the headlines and shocked the basketball world yesterday. And as the stories start to come out on why and who, it makes even less and less sense, or maybe it makes more. But the bottom line is, while one team clinched the number 1 seed in the East, while one team who was already clinched the 1 seed in the West avenged a big loss the other night, it is the Nuggets who grabbed the headlines. Good morning, boys and girls. Michael Malone is out as the head coach of the Denver Nuggets. They fired their GM, Calvin Booth, as well. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. How you living?
Well, what'd it do?
It's your team. That's your team. You're the Chicky Nuggets. Tell me how this is supposed to work. 4 games left in the regular season. A team that won a championship 2 seasons ago. If you think you're going to make a run in the playoffs and you are currently sitting as the 5 seed, tell me how this is going to work.
They're telling you that they're not making a run in the playoffs.
Okay,
this is a move of a desperate franchise that already made their decision to move on from Coach Malone after the year, and they're like, why not do it now, because it's going to spark this team somehow, some way. That's been rudderless since the All-Star break, under 500. It's not good basketball. Jamal Murray not being available, and it reeks of desperation of, well, we're not playing good, so let's fire the coach, and then we're going to be playing better.
You think that works?
No.
No. Do you have a better chance, do you believe, in your opinion, to make some sort of a run in the playoffs, win a series or two with Michael Malone, or as now they're going to be currently constructed?
I don't think it matters.
So you think they're out in the first round either way?
Yes, most likely.
Whether they get the Clippers, whether they get the Lakers, whether they get the Warriors, whomever it may happen to be. So the stories that are coming out today, in large part, and I don't think it's a secret that Calvin Booth and Michael Malone did not like each other. Michael Malone is the coach. Calvin Booth is the GM. They went out and they drafted some young players, and the GM wants to play the players who he drafted. Basically, second-round pick. Jalen Pickett was the guy that's name is out there a lot. Malone likes the veterans. He likes Russell Westbrook. In that 61-point performance by Nikola Jokic a couple of nights ago where they lost to the Timberwolves, or was that last week, whenever that was, Westbrook missed a layup at the end. He committed a foul at the end. They lose a key game. Not as key as Minnesota lost last night, but they lose to Minnesota. And that was one where Booth evidently went at him. And I think these two guys probably had this war going and figuring, nope, Daddy likes me more than he likes you. Nope, he likes me, right? Thinking ownership's going to pick my side. Nope, ownership's going to pick my side. And ownership's just said, you know what, bleep both of y'all. And I'm cleaning house. I'm getting new kids.
Yeah, it reeks of desperation. I don't think Malone should have been on the outside. I think Michael Malone looks at how you win in the NBA, and it's with veteran players. Yeah, you want to develop role players, and he has. You know, Christian Brown's in that starting lineup. He's a young guy that's been a part of a lot of winning, but you see the teams that compete at a high level, you know, it's veteran guys, and they had a roster with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Bruce Brown, and those guys got paid after winning a
How
championship.
that works.
But instead of going to ownership and realizing, hey, we're going to have to push the tax limit a little bit, have some of these veteran guys around Nikola Jokic, they tried to go super young, and then you combine that with Jamal Murray being out, and they have not had the success you would expect them to have. I'm not saying winning 3-4 championships with Jokic, but there's a lot of second-round exits. There's one finals appearance. There's 2 Western Conference Finals appearances over the last 5 to 6 years when Jokic has become the player, one of the best players in the league, and it's a whole lot of frustration, and it reeks of desperation from ownership.
What happens now with Nikola Jokic? Because I think a big part, Nikola Jokic has been, in large respects, the perfect superstar, right? Happy to be here, loved where he was, won you a championship. He's unselfish, but he posts sick numbers, likable, durable, available, right? All of those things. Like, I mean, I don't know. You described to me the perfect superstar, and it's kind of him, is it not?
Pretty darn good.
I mean, give me the controversy he's ever been involved with. I don't have it either. But at some point, I mean, does he just say, "I want out the field, I want to go to Serbia with my horses"? At some point, if I don't know where he was with Michael Malone. Okay, he won a championship with Michael Malone. I don't know where anybody was. I will tell you this, and I'm going to backtrack a little bit. 10 years is a damn long time for an NBA coach. It's a hell of a run, right? Now, would I have preferred, and I have no dog in this race. I mean, I'm not a Nugget fan. I'm not a Nugget Dis fan. I really enjoy watching Nikola Jokic, so my dog would be, I want to see them play as long as they can because I really enjoy watching that guy play. Would I have preferred to see this handled the way it feels like Michael Malone deserved after winning you a championship? If you're going to fire him after the playoffs? Yeah, I would have. Yeah, it feels to me that if nothing else, he earned that. And I remember after they won their championship, the conversation that you and I had, that, wow, how about this organization sticking with him? Most organizations would not stick with a head coach through that losing and allow a head coach to build like this. And they did. And look, Michael Malone will get a job. He will be a head coach in the NBA next season when it starts. He's going to be a well sought out. Once you win a championship, you get that pedigree. In 10 years, he did a hell of a job. Obviously, he clashed with a GM over, he likes veteran players. GM wants to go younger. I get all that. My concern, if I'm the Nugget fan right now, is, all right, what are we doing with Jokic?
Yeah, Nikola Jokic.
Hell yes. Hell yes, because who's coming in and what's my roster going to look like? Because that guy is in his prime of a career where I do not believe this is an overstatement. And some people will say, shut up, it's hyperbole. He can end up being one of the best players in the history of the game by the time it's done if he's not already there.
He's going to have the resume. He's not going to have the championships to be in the talking head conversation when it comes to best player ever. But with
unless he goes to like Boston or LA or somewhere where they're going to
rattles off 2 or 3 at the end for him. But with the Nuggets, here's the thing: this isn't them being totally cheap because they gave Michael Porter Jr. a max contract. They gave Jamal Murray a max contract, but they didn't know what to do when those guys weren't playing up to that level. Jamal Murray being hurt, Michael Porter Jr. being a good role player, but not a guy that's going to be successful on a max contract. And the NBA, a lot of these teams really don't know what to do when they want to keep their homegrown talent. They max these guys, and then they're like, oh, we can't really move them. And so that's why you have this internal battle between Michael Malone and Calvin Booth going, well, we got 3 dudes on gigantic contracts. We're going to have to go younger, but do we really have to? And then for ownership to come in, this is where I am worried, as you said, with Nikola Jokic. This is a desperate move. I think this is a bad ownership decision to do this at this point in time. If you don't win, you can be frustrated, but to blow it up right now, I would question that ownership group. I would question the trust moving forward.
It's the Kroenkes, right?
Because this is now it's not the same amount of money when we're talking about NHL contracts and NBA rosters. But this is the same ownership group. Look at the Colorado Avalanche. And at the trade deadline this past year, they moved a lot of assets, went in on guys to win. Now, I understand that it's not the same level of money, the salary cap, but it's an ownership group that was willing to do that there. But when you have a Nuggets team that has one of the best players in the NBA, and you haven't figured out a path over the last 2 years to scapegoat two people, your head coach and GM, at once, you're on that slope that if you get this wrong with who you pick next, your superstar is out of town, and you're going to have one of the biggest what-ifs in NBA history.
I can't. I think you're right. I think you're right. I just don't know how you look at this with 3 games or 4 games left in the season and say, I'm going to make a move now. I guess maybe the move would have been to blow out your GM if you felt you needed to do something. You know what? If Calvin Booth got fired, nobody notices, right? Whatever. You fired your GM. And again, if it was a coach who had been there for a year or two, remember when Milwaukee fired their coach when they got off to that great start 2 years ago? And it didn't work either, by the way. Right? They brought in Doc Rivers. But to fire this guy, to me, this is waving the white flag. Like, if I'm the Clippers, if I'm the Lakers, I want Denver in the first round.
Yes.
Even though they've got Nikola Jokic, this is me. Now let's see how that locker room rallies. Right? That locker room may rally and say, let's figure something out, and let's go, because there's still talent. Now, if Jamal Murray doesn't play, I don't think they can win. I told you that days ago anyway. But I look at this. I will go back on this. That guy won a championship there. He deserved to go out in a better way than this. You want to fire him the day after you get knocked out of the playoffs? Look, do your thing. Do your thing. Guys get fired all the time that way. This was, I think, demeaning. I think this was, I don't want to say cowardice. I mean, I don't even know what that would mean in that situation. But I think it was unbecoming of an organization who wants to be a championship pedigree organization on a regular basis to go out and do this 3 days before, or 3 games left in the season. Do you feel that Calvin Booth was right in regards to wanting to play the younger players instead of Westbrook?
I think I would have been fine if they announced the Booth decision now. Just say we're not renewing the GM. Maybe you take away some of that strife that's been there the last couple weeks. Just, all right, Malone, finish the season, go in the postseason, do what you want. Don't worry about rotation. Like, this is your team. I think that would have been the better move right now.
100%.
Than to blow both of them out with 3 games left.
100%. Unless ownership absolutely believes that they need to go with the younger rotation. Because somehow that's how we're going to win in the playoffs.
But they took out both opinions.
Right. and unless they've given now the interim, and who is it, Adelman?
David Adelman, yeah.
Unless they've given David Adelman direct orders that this is going to be your rotation. Which, I mean, why hire a coach? Why don't you come down and be my coach? All right, Nugget fan, and I know you're out there. I'd love to hear your thoughts. This was crazy yesterday. This is a team that won the NBA championship 2 seasons ago that isn't horrible. In fact, fighting for the 3-4 spot in the Western Conference playoffs. That has, if not the best, certainly one of the best players in the game in Nikola Jokic.
I'm really interested, too, even with all that was bubbling behind the scenes. I wonder how much the Memphis situation,
when they fired their coach,
affected Kroenke. Josh Kroenke, who's the owner. You know, everyone knows Stan Kroenke, who started it, but with him owning the Rams and all this stuff, it's Josh Kroenke is the kid, the son that is overseeing the Nuggets and Avalanche and all those properties in Denver. Is that's 2 playoff teams that in the final months of the season fired their coaches.
Yeah, Memphis is tied for 4th, but they are in 7th, and they are in the playing game as of right now. All right, when we come back, and I want your thoughts on the Nuggets, they say a fan can't win or lose a game, that fans have no direct impact on games. And I believed that until last night. But last night, how absolutely a fan had a direct impact on a big NBA game. That's next. Hey, if you've been the victim of crime, property crime, home, business, you know way too well it takes hours, if not days, for the police to respond. They just don't have enough officers. They get a lot of calls. But when it's you, when it's your home, when it's your business, you need a quicker response. So how about 7 minutes or less? That is the typical response time for customers of International Protective Service. I am one of them. IPS has got officers strategically placed all around Albuquerque, now in Santa Fe. They react quickly. IPS provides standing guards. If you need eyes on your property around the clock, they install alarms and camera systems. They have a state-of-the-art facility to monitor those cameras 24/7. It all raises the level of security around your home and your business. So, who's watching your home when you're not there? Make sure it's the good guys. Look, I've trusted IPS for years. They're by my home every day. When I travel, they're by a number of times. If you have a package dropped off, they'll pick it up and hold it for you until you get back. They'll move the garbage cans to the curb and back on garbage day, pick up mail, newspapers, whatever it is you need. Give them a call. It is affordable private security. 505-897-2420 is the number. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood.
I don't know. I mean, crowds, you certainly, when you go to a game at the Pit, you feel pretty proud in the way you affect the game, don't you? But JJ, do fans ever really have a impact on a game, on a result? I mean, I guess Steve Bartman that one day did with the Chicago Cubs.
It's a very rare occurrence.
Would you agree last night was one of those moments where a fan absolutely impacted the game?
Yes.
Big game between Oklahoma City and the Lakers. Lakers had beaten Oklahoma City pretty handily a couple nights ago. Back at it again in OKC. Oklahoma City has wrapped up the number 1 seed. Lakers have a back-to-back they play tonight in Dallas. Luka gets to go back to Dallas tonight. This will be a big deal. Lakers are holding on to that 3 spot. They're 1 game clear of the Clippers, Nuggets, Warriors, Grizzlies, and at the time, Timberwolves. And it was a tight game. It was, in fact, 109-108 was the score. Oklahoma City was leading. Luka Doncic talks a lot of junk. I think you've seen it. There were 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. Luka had already been assessed a technical foul. Luka hits the shot, and there's a guy in the first row. His name is, in fact, I got his name somewhere. It doesn't matter. Dude's famous now. Like they love him in Oklahoma City. And him and Doncic were going at each other. Doncic barked back. The referee was in the way. The referee thought that Doncic was talking to him. And the referee called another technical foul. Luka Doncic got ejected. And after that, Oklahoma City went on a 28-11 run and beat the Lakers 136-120. JJ, I would argue that the fan absolutely played a big part in that game.
That is a very clear moment that changed the game.
Jeremy Page is the Oklahoma City fan. Evidently that he and Luka have had similar exchanges in the past. Jeremy sits front row, near side, if you're watching on TV, and chirps at Luka Doncic. Luka chirped back. Luka said, I never got a fan ejected. Never. I let them talk. I'm going to talk back like always. It had nothing to do with the ref, so I really don't understand. This sounds like he's right. Fan confirmed that he's right. I mean, look, man, you want to complain about the refereeing in Monday night's championship game? Okay, I'll listen to you. If that, in fact, is what happened, dude, this is a problem. Is it not?
This is on Luka Doncic, man. He already got teed up early. So, all he does is scream at the referees. All he does.
He does that a lot.
He's up him and LeBron. That's all they do.
Yep.
They're the leaders of that team.
100%.
Of screaming at the NBA.
Yep.
Screaming at the referees.
Yep.
Happens all the time. And this is welcome to being Rasheed Wallace. You do not get the benefit of the doubt. I'm sorry it was bad timing, but the referee was standing exactly where that fan was at that moment. And if you've been going at that guy all night long and you say some magic words, I think Luka absolutely intended it for the fans, but dude, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt when all you do is cry to the refs and you're already on that edge.
When you're that
from
dude.
Earlier.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Like, it stinks, but you walk that path, sometimes you're going to get stung.
Tony Brothers is the crew chief of that referee crew last night. They did a pool report after the game. Luka got his first technical in the third quarter, 4:02 remaining. So, I mean, literally minutes before that. And Tony Brothers said, quote, Doncic directed profanity at a game official. That was end quote. For the second, the crew chief said Doncic, quote, looked directly at an official and used vulgar language. Now, the official, if you watch the video, the official absolutely was in the line between this fan, Jeremy Price. Jeremy Price evidently is a legend down there.
He's their snake.
He's their snake. He calls himself the courtside tattoo dude. He talked, Dave McMenamin, who is ESPN's Laker reporter, he follows the Lakers everywhere. He told McMenamin that Doncic was shouting at him, not the referee. Of course, I mean that makes him makes him a star. Quote, this is the fan now, dude. We're quoting fans now. That's what we're doing. During the game within the game, I mentioned that he was short on a shot, and he missed it. And he turned around and he shot an expletive, back at back, and JT happened to see it. At that point, teed him up. Price said, JT, how are you way too tied in? If A, you're the courtside tattoo dude, B, if you got Dave McMenamin interviewing you after the game, and C, if you're calling the referees, JT, you're that intimate with the referees. Are you a little too close to the game at that point as a fan?
A lot of people out there that are chasing that, that want to be that person. And
that's super.
This is one where I believe Luka Doncic, but this is the boy who cried wolf, man. You walk yourself into this situation, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt.
I guess at that point, that's probably right. I mean, because it was proven last night. I mean, not even probably right. It was proven last night. Doncic, there's going to be a lot of emotion for me when he goes back tonight to Dallas now. I don't really know what to expect. I don't know how I'm going to feel, honestly. I'm looking forward to being back in Dallas, obviously, with the fans, seeing my teammates, ex-teammates. It's going to be very emotional for me, for sure. Yeah, that's tonight.
Should be ready to go with a few minutes off last night.
You got a little rest last night. Absolutely, Jeremy Price. The courtside tattoo dude. There's
going to be honored before the next game.
Seriously, dude. Do you think dude's got a website?
Sure, he's got social media.
The courtside tattoo dude. That came up really quick. Jeremy Price. There he is on the X. TikTok. His handle is courtside tattoo dude.
Pretty good content, courtside.
The Oklahoman, April of last year, did a story. Meet Jeremy Price, the tattooed courtside super fan. Yeah, dude, he's all over the place. TikTok, the X. I mean, God bless him, I guess. He's their snake. You're 100% right. Except for he makes a difference. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. All right, so the NBA, here's where you are now. And I told you it changes every single day because you got big games again tonight. Lakers with a big one in Dallas. In the East, Celtics and Magic is interesting. It may be a first-round preview. But in the West, Warriors are home for the Spurs. Warriors won last night. Thunder play at the Suns. That doesn't matter. The Nuggets and Kings is a big game, and the Rockets and Clippers is a big game. As we stand right now in the West, number one is Oklahoma City. They're clear. They've clinched. Houston, I believe, is clinched number 2, correct? They're 4 games clear of L.A. All right, Lakers are 3. 1 game clear of everybody, including the Clippers, Nuggets, Warriors, Grizzlies, and Wolves. I'm sorry, the Wolves are 2 back after blowing that game last night. The Warriors, because of tiebreaker, over the play-in line. So it doesn't even matter what it looks like now because I think it's going to shake up. The Nuggets are the interesting one now to watch. The Nuggets are the one with 3 games left to watch. What do they have left in the regular season as they change head coach? They've got 3 games left. At Sacramento tonight. Home versus Memphis, at Houston. That's a tough schedule. Now, let's see what Houston may rest everybody in the last game of the year.
Yeah, that's possible.
And the Nuggets may be playing to stay out of the playing tournament at that point. All right, 505-246-0610. Come on in. When we get back, boy, he was a hero around here. He was the dude. He was the quarterback that won 2 games during the COVID season, which seems like forever ago. You're like, how can he still have eligibility? Well, he does. Just won't be with the Lobos. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Raquel here with JPR. Our construction supply stores have power.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured. Do
you think the Denver Nuggets might consider a guy like James Borrego as head coach? Or do they go with someone who has more experience? Interesting thought, right? James Borrego's got experience. He's been a head coach in this league. I think he's in line for another one. I think James Borrego probably is hoping that he gets the Spurs job, but absolutely, I think he would be a candidate for that. Don't you?
Yeah, they said yesterday they're doing a full search. I'm sure he'll be on that list. And right now, I would agree with Borrego. Like, give me that Spurs job.
Yeah, I think that's what he would like, and coming up under Pop.
Aaron
I think
Fox, Victor Wembanyama.
A lot of people probably want that job, and a high draft pick.
Stephen Castle's been really good, rookie out of UConn.
And here comes another high draft pick for him. Yeah. All right, we love the local stories sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's. I always wonder, do we really around here? Do the local fans really like the local story? Do you really like, when I don't know, Colin Neal from local high school El Dorado plays college ball or whomever? But back during COVID, when we needed something to feel good about, it was Isaiah Chavez. 2020, that's 5 years ago now. But Isaiah Chavez was the quarterback, the former New Mexico Gatorade Player of the Year at Rio Rancho High School. He led the Lobos to those back-to-back wins over Wyoming and Fresno State. He was a walk-on. He was QB4 at the time, right?
QB5.
Was it QB5? Yeah, everybody went down, got hurt, was out, COVID, transfer, whatever the hell it was. Passed for 112 yards and 1 touchdown.
The Tim Tebow effect.
Yeah. But never became that guy, right? He was, and there were a few of you out there who said Isaiah Chavez should be the quarterback. You didn't like Terry Wilson. Never mind, the guy won 10 games in the SEC. This guy was going to be better. Well, Terry Wilson never won. I got it. You'd have put Isaiah Chavez back behind that offensive line that year, you'd have gotten murdered too. Right? You didn't like Devin Dampier. You didn't like, who was in between? It was somebody in between. The young man from...
there's Miles Kendrick.
Miles Kendrick.
Kansas transfer.
Yeah. Right? Isaiah Chavez is no longer with the Lobos. Well, you're like, no kidding, Jeff. It's 6 years later. I know. But evidently he had a 6 year of eligibility, however that works. But the Journal and Sean Ryder confirmed and spoke with Jason Eck and Isaiah Chavez. Basically, he had been running with the quarterbacks. Coaching staff said, look, you're a 6 year guy. You're probably not going to get a lot of snaps at quarterback. Got a couple guys ahead of you. Do you want to move to linebacker? And I guess his fiance is pregnant. They're expecting a child. And he said, you know what, I'm going to focus on being a dad. I've got my degree. He still wants to play. The crazy part of the story is we're going to see what's available for him in the portal. So he can get like a 7th year because he can use this as a red shirt, I guess, and play somewhere else next year if somebody else wants him.
Well, he essentially had multiple redshirt years due to injury, so you get time back.
Okay. All right.
Well, I have no problem if a dude is out injured getting a year back.
Okay.
Multiple times.
All right.
If it costs you the entire season.
So the 5 years to play 4, you're down with 7 to play 5?
If you're hurt, yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Like, it's not hurting anybody. It's really not. And for Isaiah Chavez, you tip your cap. He was a local legend for those years. And by the way, it was multiple staffs that gave him opportunities to be on the team.
3, yeah.
But realized just wasn't that dude at the quarterback.
He's not that dude at quarterback. And he was a terrific high school quarterback. He was a great story during the COVID season. He was not that guy at quarterback. And I know a bunch of you wanted to just blame Danny Gonzalez and that staff and say, oh, well, he didn't look at him. Well, that staff didn't see him as a quarterback. Bronco Mendenhall's staff didn't see him as a quarterback. Although he was number 2 quarterback last year, wasn't he? So if Devin Dampier ever would have gone down,
I honestly have no idea who would have taken snaps if Devin Dampier would have.
So on the depth chart, he was number 2, was he not? I'm pretty sure he was.
I don't know if he was. He was listed with multiple.
There were oars. There were a bunch of oars. Yeah, and then Jason X, great kid, just wasn't going to get a lot of time at quarterback, and want to keep him around, and I'm willing to work with him if he wants to move positions, but if the young man doesn't want to. So that ends, and I don't know how you all feel about that. He goes out You can never take away that COVID year. Unfortunately, it was never in front of the home fans, right? I mean, he never got that moment. In fact, wasn't he a long snapper for a minute?
He wasn't playing, but they're like, oh, he's try him out here. Maybe he'd like backup long snapper. I credit him for sticking around, doing multiple things, want to be a part of the roster. And is that really that, not just for Isaiah Chavez, it was that, entire staff. The beginning of the Danny Gonzalez era was on the road in one of the weirdest times we're ever going to experience.
Period.
And never was able to really come back from that.
Yeah. And look, I mean, you guys, you have eyes. Right? I mean, was he a guy who was going to take you to the levels that you needed at Division I, that you wanted to be? And your argument's going to be, well, neither did these other guys. We could have lost with the local kid. And
you still wouldn't have gone to the game.
And you still wouldn't have gone to the game. I promise. That's probably right, too. It's a whole nother conversation, too.
Like, it's the... I'm at the point where I've done this long enough, too.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah.
Like, it's the worst argument. Like, miss me with that 1,020%.
The local kid, let's lose with local guys instead of lose with guys from elsewhere.
It's so easy to say that.
Yeah.
And then the fans never show up to anything when there's local kids prominently at the forefront.
Yep.
Maybe setting a record, most threes in program history.
Yep.
Oh, playing soccer along those lines. You're never there.
Yeah, you don't give a damn. Yeah, you say you do, and you call talk shows and thumb it out. But you're right. Isaiah Chavez, by every account, is a pretty good kid. Right? There's some local kids who were walk-ons or made news around here that there's questions about character. Wasn't a lot about him. The coaches seemed to like him. Broncos staff seemed to really like him. Jason X says great things about him. He just wasn't going to be your starting quarterback. Well, why not, Jeff? He won 2 games now. I got it, man. I got it. And if you think, well, he was going to be the guy, you'll always think that, and that's cool, man. I got no problem with it. But it wasn't going to be, and to your point, it was 3 different staffs who went through that and all came to the same conclusion. It was Biden's staff and Trump's staff, okay? They agreed on something.
Well, the house blew up. It doesn't matter that the house blew up. You know who built the house?
It's like nothing anybody's ever seen before. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that's down. I want your thoughts on that, though. Does it matter to you? I mean, if you like, and I'm not ripping on the young man by saying he wasn't the guy. I mean, you have eyes. He was a competitor. He's a hell of a competitor. He wasn't the Division I quarterback that was going to take you where you wanted to go. Was he like? Give me the argument he should have been playing in front of Devin Dampier. I'm listening.
Oh, not in front of Devin Dampier.
No, I'm listening.
Not at all.
Right?
What Devin Dampier did last year was unbelievable.
Correct. Now he's making $1 million.
Every snap in the spring game, like every snap in practice.
Yeah.
If he would have gotten hurt, I really have no idea who would have taken any snaps at quarterback for the Lobos. That year was phenomenal.
And now he's playing in the Big 12 and he's making a bunch of money. Yeah. They parlayed that. So, all right, 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimallabq.com and JJ at sportsanimallabq.com. Got a quarterback who's set to be paid, but will he get paid? Will he hold out? Will they draft a quarterback? It's actually a big decision for one of the marquee teams in the National Football League. We'll get into that when we come back. John Thomas Jewelers is going to Antwerp, and you have a couple of more days to get in on this deal. If you're dreaming of that perfect diamond, they're going to the diamond capital of the world to hand-select breathtaking diamonds for you. And so, for a limited time, and that's through this week, when you pre-order your Antwerp diamond starting at just $3,000, John Thomas Jewelers will give you a free engagement or anniversary upgrade ring. Why Antwerp? 80% of the world's loose diamonds flow through Antwerp. Antwerp, Belgium is where the finest diamonds in the world are sourced. That means you get unmatched quality and you get unmatched value. John's got 35 years of diamond experience. Take advantage of it. Let them handpick a bigger, brighter, more beautiful diamond than anything you'll be able to find in New Mexico. Here's the deal. You got till Friday. Pre-order by April 11. Take advantage of this deal. Let them find your 1 in a million diamond. A little bit of urgency on this now. Put it in your schedule. Get yourself over to the 3rd floor of the Lewis University building on Louisiana. You'll find this beautiful showroom. You're going to walk in and understand right away why they've been voted America's coolest jewelry store. But more importantly, they're going to become your jewelers, and you're going to get to take advantage of this incredible deal. 2440 Louisiana Northeast, Suite 310. Third floor in Lewis University building on Louisiana, south of Manal, directly across from the Coronado Mall. John Thomas Jewelers. It's where Albuquerque gets engaged.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
610. Says, hope Chavez gets to play and make some money somewhere. That guy was the ultimate teammate. Never heard him bitch, gripe, complain, or get in trouble. He just showed up, and he was a great teammate. Wish he would have been given a shot at quarterback. Good luck to him. I believe he was given a shot. I believe he was. I mean, don't you like this says? I wish he would have been given a shot. JJ. I mean, I think he was given a shot. He was behind Devin Dampier. He wasn't better than Devin Dampier. There's no argument to that. And Danny's coaching staff gave him a shot. He wasn't better than the guys they had. And it sounds like Jason X staff gave him a shot, and he wasn't going to beat those guys. He got a shot.
He's an option quarterback. They didn't want to run an option offense. The 2 games that he won, look at the way they played it. The style worked there, but that's not what they wanted to do. It's easy to, after the fact, say, well, you should have just kept doing that because.
I think all that's right.
But he also, a lot of that time, it wasn't just him not playing. He did battle injuries and wasn't available. The legend of QB5 will always be there for the end of that season, just to spark football, at least have that little moment at the very end, beating Wyoming and Fresno State, and heck, and then even winning a game the next year. I don't think that many coaches, not just head coaches, but offensive personnel, just went out of the way to make sure he would never get a shot.
Yeah. It's to the texter, I believe he did get a shot. I think he got a shot every year. And all these coaching staffs believed that there was somebody better. They kept him around. They didn't tell him to scram. I think he did get a shot. All right. The Brock Purdy story in San Francisco is going to get interesting, I think. So they have cleared the deck, getting rid of everybody. Deebo Samuels, and they left guard, and all kinds of things, to pay Brock Purdy. Now, Brock Purdy was making under $1 million last year. He's set to make, I think, $5.1 million this year. They've made it clear they want to sign Brock Purdy. Now, we can have all kinds of conversations from today till next month on how much you believe Brock Purdy is worth. We can have that conversation in dollars. We can have that conversation in percentages. We can have that conversation in regards to comparison to other quarterbacks, okay? I'm not sure what the right answer is. We'll find out one day. Brock Purdy sounds like his camp wants to be paid as the next guy in line. Somewhere in the area of $58 million per year. Okay? Not bad coming off of his under $1 million. Here's the reality. They don't have to pay him this year. The Niners could, without extending Brock Purdy, control him for the next 3 years. They got him this year for $5.1 million. They could tag him next year, which would cost him about $41 million, and they could tag him again the next year, which would be about $51 million. They could control him now for 3 years at about $97 million. Now, is that good business? Is that good relations? Is that, I mean, there's not a chance in hell he'll stick around after that, I imagine. That would be drawing this thing out all the way. Brock Purdy wants probably a 4 or 5 year deal at an average of about $58 to $60 million a year, with probably $200 and something million guaranteed. That's the going rate for quarterbacks. And somehow we can't see what we see on the field. We can only see he was the last guy picked in the draft, so he can't be that guy.
He ain't that guy. He ain't that.
What guy is he then?
I think Brock Purdy is a successful quarterback.
Okay.
But I would find it hard right now to say Brock Purdy should be paid more than Josh Allen.
I agree with that.
Or Joe Burrow. And you say it all the time. Yeah. And this is why San Francisco is playing it out. Just because you're the next in line does not mean you have to have the biggest contract.
Agree.
And if you're going to get upset, and the worst thing that happens to you is you end up with $97 million guaranteed, darn.
I want to keep this going because quarterbacks have been signing for between 21 and 25% of the salary cap. And the salary cap just jumped, what, $52 million? So should he be paid in consideration of the cap? Is that market value? Or is market value dollars? Because I will argue with you he should be paid parallel to Tua Tagovailoa or Dak Prescott. 505-246-0610. Also got TV numbers on the NCAA tournament, men and women, and the Pac-12 may be getting close to a TV deal, which could then trigger what the Mountain West gets. Give you the latest on that as well. 505-246-0610. He is J.J. Buck. I'm Jeff Symbieta. We'll give away tickets to go see Creed Summer '99 tour at 9:10 this morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
JJ Buck.
All right, let's go. What do we do? Draft is coming up here in 2 weeks. Right, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Niner fan, I know you're there. I know you're all over the place. All right, so what do you do with your quarterback? You got Brock Purdy. You can control him if you would like for the next 3 years. And it would cost you, my math tells me I got 5.1 this year, right? 41, 51, and 5. It's about $97 million. So that's 33-ish, 34, right? $33 million a year, right? $32 million a year. Brock Purdy is up for an extension. Brock Purdy has been good. He's taken you to 2 NFC championship games. He's done more than Dak Prescott's done.
That is correct.
He has done more than Tua Tagovailoa has done. Now, he's been injured. So have they. He was the last pick in the draft. Neither were they. One was a first-round pick, number 5 overall, I think, Tua, and then the other one was a third-round pick. But if you want to look at production, what he's meant for your franchise, I mean, there was a conversation not long ago that he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Now, is he Josh Allen? Is he Joe Burrow? Is he Patrick Mahomes? No, nobody's saying that. But is he on that next shelf? Is he on the third tier? If you're going to tell me Pat Mahomes sits by himself, and then there's Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, who else you want? Do you want to throw Jalen Hurts in there? But you just won a damn Super Bowl. But, I mean, whoever you want, right? Who's on that next shelf? I know you really like Justin Herbert there, but it's hard for me to put him there. Matthew
Brock
Stafford.
Purdy can be right there with Justin Herbert.
And Matthews, right? Okay. So what do you do? The Niners can play this thing out if they want. They can play hardball. Now, let me ask you this. If you are Brock Purdy, I got the draft coming up in 2 weeks. What if Shedeur Sanders slips to 11? Do they take him? If they have not signed Brock Purdy by draft day, and that's why I think that's why this conversation got interesting to me this week. Here comes the draft. What if Shedeur drops to 11?
Which is a possibility.
It absolutely is a possibility. And you're the Niners and you've got Brock Purdy and he's not signed. You take him?
I could absolutely see San Francisco doing that because they've floated the number, and that's what it comes down to, the guaranteed of the contract.
Right. And
yes, there's the annual, I want to pay 58. Whatever number you get per year, does it get you to your guaranteed money? And you just brought up comparable quarterbacks like Tua in his contract. Yeah, you look at the value, it's $212 million overall, but $167 million guaranteed in his bank. Dak Prescott.
How much?
$167 million guaranteed
for Prescott. Okay.
Prescott's deal,
wait.
I do not want to approach that. They guaranteed him $231 million. So I'm looking at Tua as a baseline. Yeah, you could be a $200 million quarterback. However, guarantees don't surpass $200 million. I think that is where I would be, put my ceiling at if I'm San Francisco. And then at this point in time where Brock is, where his camp is. And if they're just pushing no, we want be up there with Mahomes, Allen, and Trevor Lawrence in that group because of resume and it's time and I'm a quarterback, you'll have that vibe. You will know by the time the draft comes around where Brock Purdy's camp is, and then you can make that decision.
Yeah, that's why it's so important right now. I'm floating the Tua kind of deal out. Here's the other big decision. If it is not done, and again, whatever the numbers are, and he's going to play on a $5 million deal this year. Now, does he hold out? No. Here's the difference in holdouts, okay? Guys that held out in the past have gotten paid, right? Those guys have millions in the bank. This guy doesn't. Now, I'm sure he's living just fine, but he hasn't cashed out yet. He doesn't have that, I can sit back, I got FU money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And but the numbers in terms of where Brock Purdy could slot, like San Francisco has plenty of starting points. Because to me, it comes down to the guaranteed money. And I'm like, you tip your cap to Brock, you've done fantastic. But I would have the same conversation with Dak Prescott, with Tua, with these guys. Like, I can't guarantee you over $200 million.
So what are you offering him right now?
Like, I'm right there with you. I'm looking at Kyler Murray.
Or what's Kyler Murray's deal?
Tua. So Kyler and Tua, like these guys, when they announce, they can say, oh, their quarterback contract is valued at $200+ million. But with Kyler,
for how many years? 4?
Those are like 4 or 5 year deals. So like Kyler, it's 159 guaranteed at signing. Tua 167. Like, I think that's Brock Purdy territory.
100%.
And in negotiations, yeah, feelings can get hurt. And if I'm San Francisco, and with a lot of these guys, man, like I don't feel good at all if I'm now looking at $231 million Dak Prescott's contract guaranteed. But with the success and knowing, all right, he's talented enough, and you're kind of retooling the roster around him, that to Jared Goff level contract would be like, here you go, man. Like, this is
so 4 years, $220 million with 159 guaranteed.
Bam. And it probably should be a little bit more.
So that's $55 million a year. Here's your guarantee. I mean, first of all, if I'm him and I'm making $967,000 and I'm going to yes.
Yeah, you could always do the back and forth, just not jumping at the first one, but yeah, slide that deal over. Let's go.
So, who would you feel more comfortable giving that? Like, let's just say right now. Here's your deal. You're the Niners. You're the Dolphins. You're the pick your team. And I'm going to give one of these quarterbacks 4 years, $220 million with 159 guaranteed. He's my quarterback for the next 4 or 5, whatever it is. Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa, Dak Prescott.
Brock Purdy, because it's also, I trust the organization. Like, I've seen them develop talent. Yeah, they're in a bit of a transition, but that's your job, is to figure it out when you have to pay a quarterback some money, older players aging out. Like, can you continue to do what you've done? And that was bring in talent and develop guys. And there's a reason they lost dudes, because they got paid. Now go do it again and find those pieces.
Is Brock Purdy a top 10 quarterback in this league?
Yeah, he flirts with it, absolutely. I think there's a lot of guys that float in and out at the back end there.
Is he better than Baker Mayfield?
I think he's very comparable to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. Is he better than Dak Prescott?
Yes. Resume was like, and there's the thing, like, it's not in this conversation. And we're talking about an individual, but it's also how that individual fits in with what you believe the organization can do.
Yep.
So some of these guys, maybe Dak Prescott might flash more, but I don't really think Dak Prescott flashes that much more than Brock Purdy at this point. I see Brock Purdy make all the float throws. I see him get out of the pocket. Dak's been hurt, the ankle injury, the legs, it slowed him down. So absolutely, Brock Purdy is pushing that. When you look at, there's plenty of good quarterbacks in this league, but it's about the consistency, the flashes, and I think Brock is one of those guys that when he's on, he's top 10 in the NFL.
Sporting News puts his valuation 4 years, $239 million. It's like $59 million a year. All right? And again, if that's market value, and you guys can lose your mind, it's $59.7 million a year. And again, the raw numbers are the raw numbers. I think the way you kind of need to look at it, but maybe to understand it, would be percentage of the salary cap. And as the salary cap goes up, so too will salaries, and especially quarterbacks' salaries. Now, did anybody lose their mind who just got $40 million a year to play defensive end? Was it Myles Garrett?
No.
Somebody.
But Garrett signed a gigantic
right?
deal.
Okay, nobody lost their mind there. Oh, well, okay. That's what this is. Well, he's not worth more than Josh Allen. You're right. but he's making that percentage of the salary cap, which, again, to me, when I heard that, quarterbacks are eating 21 to 25% of the salary cap, it's crazy. Now, is it the most important, most essential position in all of sports? It is. But I got a 56-man roster, whatever it is, and a quarter of it's going to one dude? Like, I almost got to rethink the whole situation, but there's no coming back. Do I think that's so totally out of whack? I do. What do I think a quarterback should get? Probably about 15%. I mean, he should be the highest paid guy. If you've got a top line quarterback, yeah, he probably should be the highest paid guy on your roster. But a quarter of the whole salary cap, you're making more than. What do we do? Like, okay, but that's the model. So if that in fact is the model, and that's hence market value for quarterbacks, that's how they came to Sport Track assessing Purdy's market value at $239 over 4 years. Just under $60 million a year.
And then, again, you get that guarantee, which is probably going to be in the 165, 170 range. I think that's a contract Brock Purdy signs in a heartbeat.
Go get it done. But if not, does he hold out?
I don't think he does. I don't see any benefit to that for Brock Purdy.
Well,
like, you can be frustrated.
The benefit to that is, dude, I'm not doing this 3 years for that guaranteed. You're going to franchise tag me. Yeah, I'll make $97 million, but no. I want my guaranteed 160 or whatever you just said, and I don't want to go through this every damn year. I want to deal
Kirk Cousins, see how he's doing. His life's fine. Like,
right.
That point,
Kirk Cousins at the end. This guy's just starting.
But Kirk Cousins franchise tag how many times in Washington?
No, you're right. And he got paid, and after all, you look at your bank account and so.
I understand you play a violent sport and you've been hurt, and it's negotiations, it's business for everyone, and the next contract helps the next guy down along the line.
Right.
But it's also, as much pro player as you want to be, go get your money, because yes, those franchises are making a ton of money. We still need to look at from a franchise perspective. You just laid out. We just can't hand you that deal. And if you're not going to accept it, then this is where we are. You won't play. We won't have a quarterback. And here we go.
Really interesting, because I think the next 2 weeks are vital. I think getting him done before the draft is a big deal for them, because I think you have real conversation. Now, look, you just completely gutted your roster. In San Francisco, you need everything, right? I mean, you kind of do.
But you're also, in a way, reopening your window. So, Brock, if they've had any discussions on a deal like that, and you're like, all right, man, you don't want this deal? Well, I guess
I got Shedeur.
Resetting the entire thing.
Yeah, and you know what? You're a guy this year for $5.1 million because you're under contract, and after that, yeah. But I think it gets real interesting in that room if he's not signed. And next up on the clock, the San Francisco 49ers and their Shedeur Sanders.
Spits that mold of college, that same style of quarterback, timing, accuracy, like that is that system.
And he brings all that flash. Yep. Tax season, you got till next week, right? What are you gonna do with your money? You get a little return? May I suggest putting a little bit into your second or maybe your biggest investment, your vehicle? On the Spot Automotive Detailing. We'll take care of your vehicle. You got windy, you got sun, you got rain, we've got everything. Protect your vehicle. Talking about paint protection film and ceramic coating from On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Prevent those nasty scratches, the stains, the fading paint. Call On the Spot. They were awarded best in the city because they're best in the city. They know what it takes to provide quality care for your vehicle. You can protect your car's value with On the Spot Automotive Detailing. And they will come out and detail your vehicle. It's right there in the name that they're the best at what they do, and they come to you at your convenience, where it works, when it works. That means you don't take your car anywhere, that you don't drop it off, you don't need a ride back, you don't have to sit around. They come to you while you're working. They're out in the parking lot detailing your vehicle. When they're done, your car looks and feels and smells like the day you took it off the lot. That new car feeling without that new car price. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite things. On the Spot Automotive Detailing. I love them, and I know you're going to as well. Visit them online, book and buy. It's all right there at odetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations.
Come on in, 505-246-0610. Emails jeff@sportsanimalabq.com. Talking about Brock Purdy's contract. Will he get a new one? Isaiah Chavez, the now former UNM football player, has left the program. A couple of texts on that, 505-246-0610. And I get this. There's some of you who just believe Isaiah Chavez should have been the quarterback for the Lobos for the last 6 years, and I understand that. He wasn't better than Devin Dampier. He just wasn't. But 3 coaching staffs have given him a shot. The latest coaching staff suggested he moved to linebacker, and he opted to leave the program. And so I got that text earlier that said, hope Chavez gets to play and make some money somewhere. The guy was the ultimate teammate, never heard a bitch, gripe, complain, or get in trouble. He just showed up, was a great teammate. Wish he would have been given a shot at quarterback. Good luck to him. And so my response was, I believe he was given a shot by 3 different coaching staffs, and he was given a shot. And all 3 staffs believed that they had better quarterbacks. Just got somebody else said there was another quarterback with a similar resume as Isaiah Chavez. He now starts at Vanderbilt. Nobody wanted to give Diego Pavia a shot either. Similar resume in high school, yeah. Diego got his shot at Nimi, won a national championship. Diego got his shot at New Mexico State, went to 2 bowl games and won 1, and went to a championship game in his league and parlayed it into getting paid at Vanderbilt. Yeah.
Diego Pavia is a better quarterback than Isaiah Chavez.
I think that's the bottom period line. Yeah.
The thing with the coaching staffs, and again, it's so easy to say after the fact because it wasn't successful. You have to run an option offense, Isaiah Chavez, and they didn't want to do that. That's not what they wanted to build.
Look, I think a lot of people were rooting for a local kid, right? A lot of people would have loved to see Isaiah Chavez turn into what you all wanted Isaiah Chavez to be. I did too. With all due respect to Isaiah Chavez, and this is because you can never take away the moments he had. JJ, I think you're right. Diego Pavia is better, and he played it. If you can play, they're going to find you, I think. And to say he was never given a chance, I guess I got to push back a little because 3 coaching staffs gave him a chance. Well, they always brought in somebody on ahead of him. Look, I firmly believe this, and this is one of those things where we can converse about this all we want. I don't know that you're going to be able to move me off of this. Coaches are going to put out the best players that give them the best chance to win so they can keep their jobs, right? Coaches get paid, they get bonused by winning games, by winning championships. That's how they keep their jobs. And I don't think if Isaiah Chavez was the best quarterback or gave any of these coaching staffs the best chance to win, they were going to somehow just say, no, you're the local kid or you're too slow, like whatever. They looked at him, they gave him the chance.
It was 5 years ago that people are hanging on in those 2 games.
They're holding on to those 2 COVID games 5 years ago.
And again, instead of just being, you know what, the legend of QB5, that was awesome. It's a bummer he couldn't have been more. He never got a shot. He was there for 6 years. Yeah. And the thing with Isaiah Chavez, when you look at the other quarterbacks, whether it was Terry Wilson or Miles Kendrick,
Devin Dampier.
Devin Dampier, of course, but even the year before that with, why am I blanking on the UAB kid that came in?
Yes.
With Brian Vincent.
With Brian Vincent. Who was
all those dudes could throw the football better than Isaiah Chavez, and that's what they were trying to build the offense around.
I mean, nobody's hating on Isaiah Chavez. I really like him. And all these things you're saying about it, what a great kid he was, what a great...
I think it reinforces the fact that dude won 2 games as a quarterback, came back, stepped in a Wyoming contest. Now, I'm open to the conversation of, well, should they have adjusted everything and just tried to go all in with him for a year? Maybe, but the long run with what they were trying to do offensively with the offensive coordinators, wasn't.
You mean, so just change back over to being an option team again?
That's what they would have had to have done, but they didn't have that coordinator.
Look, exactly. You brought in Brian Vincent.
Like in the other game that he won, it was 14-3.
And he threw for 112 yards. Yeah. Yeah.
So is that your quarterback or your defense?
Again, nothing to take away from the legend that was QB5. You're right. You're right. But I got to push back when you tell me he was never given a chance. Then you tell me he was Diego Pavia. Like Diego Pavia has proven it. Do you believe Isaiah Chavez was going to go in and beat Alabama and Auburn? honestly. Now, maybe well, if you gave him the chance, maybe he would, Jeff. Or maybe he would. By the way, Diego Pavia got better and better as time went on. And Diego Pavia became, he threw the ball better. Now, nobody's ever going to...
Dylan Hopkins.
There we go. Nobody's ever going to mistake Diego Pavia for John Elway throwing a football. But he became a much better thrower of the football. Well, Jeff, because he got to play. You're right. He beat out other quarterbacks, and he got that chance. And then Vanderbilt threw a bunch of money at him, and now he sued the NCAA, and he won it.
He's coming back.
And he got the Diego Pavia. Again, nothing against Isaiah Chavez. Really, really good guy from every. I don't know him well. He's been on our show, but was he a great quarterback? The answer is probably no. Because if that's the case, all those coaches that have come through. What did Danny have 2 offensive coordinators, right? And then Bronco had one. Was it just Brian Vincent, or who was before Brian Vincent? There were a number, right? You had offensive coordinators, and now the current staff. Did everybody just miss? 505-246-0610. When we come back, the Mountain West TV deal runs through this year. Next year, right? The next academic year. And I think a lot of what's going to happen next is going to be based on what the Pac-12 deal is. That may be getting close, according to some reports. It's what that might look like. And, boy, they still don't have an 8th team. And I know, New Mexico State fan, you're hearing a lot of chatter. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report brought to you by the...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfasfa.org. That's nmfasfa.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots?
All right, who was watching, who wasn't watching? Oh, it's all chalk, nobody cares. Or it's all chalk, everybody cares. Or, I don't know. You watched the tournament, right? We all did. How about the amount of brackets? I guess there was somebody in the women's bracket who lost one game. And it was an 8-9 game in the first round, which is crazy, isn't it? I mean, the women's,
it's easier to pick women's bracket.
It gets way more chalky, right? And as chalky as this was, not that many people pick chalk. So I think in the future, people are going to do multiple brackets and just go, mostly chalk bracket. Somebody's going to hit. CBS is, by the way, it's the opening drive. He's JJ Buck. I'm Jeff Symbieta. You're welcome to get in at 505-246-0610. Adrian is producing on our visuals. You can watch our show. And Adrian, thank you for being in every day and doing a great job. It's a great way to consume our show. There's all kinds of video extras to it. You can watch on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM. It's on Xfinity Channel 26 around the state of New Mexico and the YouTube channel for ProView Network. CBS averaged 18.1 million viewers. They peaked at 21.1 for Florida's win over Houston in the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. That was the most watched title game since Virginia and Texas Tech back in 2019. That was 19.6 million, and that was the year before out-of-home metrics were added by Nielsen, before they modernized their system. So this year's game was up 22% from last year. Remember who last year was? Connecticut, Purdue. But last year was on TBS, TNT, and True. I guess I didn't realize that. I mean, over the years, CBS is gonna outdraw cable. It just is. That was 14.8 million, and it was up from the record low title game. Did you know this? UConn San Diego State was a record low, 14.7. People didn't want to watch the Aztecs in the championship game. What the hell? That was the year before. Ladies, ESPN reported 8.6 million viewers. That was on ABC. They did ESPN show, the Bird and Taurasi show going on. They had 716,000. Connecticut, UCLA semifinal, 4.2 million, and Texas, South Carolina semi, 3.7 million. This was way down from last year, but the Caitlin Clark factor completely skewed this thing.
Yeah, those numbers are good, but the Caitlin Clark one was a reminder of a supernova in women's basketball.
Just something that was crazy. All right. The Pac-12 still is 7. They still do not have they have an 8th for non-football. That would be Gonzaga. But they don't have an 8th permanent football playing school. And I know you've been reading and I know you've been watching, and whether it's Texas State or they're still holding out from Memphis or whatever. And there's been so much New Mexico State chatter. And it's so funny watching these fans online talk themselves into how, well, that would be good. And they'll take half a share and it'd be great, right? Have you, I mean, I know you have. I know you've read this stuff. Again, I told you the other day, and I talked to people on both sides. I can't get any confirmation that that's a real conversation. Now, I can't get any confirmation that it's not. But, I don't know where that goes. It certainly sounds like their media package is going to be done before they solidify who their 8th permanent member is. Sports Business Journal reported that the Pac-12 is close. And they may, JJ, be looking for a stopgap deal for their first year and then a longer-term deal for subsequent years. Ben Portnoy is the reporter at Sports Business Journal who reports all this. He said that their commissioner, who's Teresa Gould, and their firm, Octagon, had meetings in San Antonio during the Final Four. Quote, the expectation is whatever lengthier package the league does agree on will likely include multiple partners in the vein of those inked by the Big Ten and Big East. What kind of value the Pac-12 might garner remains to be seen, but whatever the valuation, it will offer quick feedback for the Mountain West Conference schools who jumped ship and whether it is paid off. That was a quote from Portnoy. Remember the Mountain West deal, again, which expires at the end of the 2025-2026 school year. Paid schools around $4 million. You got those 5 schools that left: San Diego State, Boise State, Fresno State, Utah State, Colorado State. All looking to cash in and make a lot more. In regards to the 8th football playing member to meet FBS requirements for conference, what's the word? Conference dumb? What am I looking for? To be a conference?
To be an official football conference?
Yeah. The process has been going on for at least 6 months. It's likely to play out after a media deal is resolved. It's crazy to me that you can go to market. So basically what they're saying is they're going to have a multi-network, multi-platform deal. Like Big Ten is with Fox, CBS, and NBC. The Big East is with Fox, NBC, and Turner. Is that right? Big East is all over CBS Sports, aren't they? Fox, NBC, and Turner.
Big East games.
Maybe that's moving forward. Yeah, that may be moving forward. Because I know the Big East always interrupts the first part of Mountain West games on CBS and Fox. But wherever you go with it. So that's coming down. I know the intrigue around here is who, and it's so funny if you just watch the people with thumbs who think they know something. And, well, this guy said, and then all of a sudden now they're talking, well, New Mexico wouldn't be that bad now. You getting any of that? Well, I'd rather have UNM than them.
Oh, yeah. And it's one of the easiest conversation starters in terms of like the sports side of X right now is people, and that's the thing with social media. It sparks conversation, but then people take it as fact and they run with it like they know something, and it's a very small percentage of people that know anything. But yeah, there's a lot of accounts that have been out there like, oh, I know what the Pac-12 is doing. Oh, it's going to be just massive deal, bringing in these schools, and then these fan bases get up in arms. It's like, nope, not even close to that.
I did speak with someone of the Pac-12 this week, and again, I've got some, I'm not going to tell you super tight, but people I trust, and I don't believe, just from the conversations I had, I don't believe they've got, they know exactly where they're going with that. I do believe that their first priority is getting something done with their media deal, but it's crazy that you can go to your media partners and say, yeah, we're going to add an eighth. I can't tell you who it is, but and I guess the media
give us this money.
But I guess the media partners are just going, well, at this point, it doesn't matter who your eighth is. And I don't care if it's New Mexico State or Texas State or New Mexico or San Jose State or Sacramento State. They're all probably valued at the same place, and it's not going to sway what we believe you're worth, right? And I got to believe the people sitting in that room think that because they offered per reports, whether this is true or not. Again, I've seen this in multiple places, and a few credible people have reported that Texas State was offered a half a share, and they declined. You saw that too, right? I did see that attached to some people that I would trust. So wherever you're going with that, but again, that one is. I think that's what's next. All right, the Masters is next. I want to get into that. They had the dinner, or the part 3 is today, so you get in on that. 505-246-0610. What your thoughts on the Brock Purdy stuff, on Isaiah Chavez, wherever you want to go with it, on Luka Doncic getting thrown out and the Lakers getting beat, and now Luka goes to Dallas. What do you expect him out of Dallas tonight? You expect a 45-piece tonight? I mean, let him go nuts tonight, right?
I'm taking the under.
On what number? If I put it at 36.5.
I'll go under.
Okay. All right. 505-246-0610. You get the Masters. It's starting tomorrow. Where are you watching? Where are you watching the NFL or at the NBA playoffs? Where are you watching the draft? Twin Peaks has you covered. If you can't get to Augusta, and I'm going to guess you can't, golf's first major will be on wall-to-wall TVs at Twin Peaks, April 10th through the 13th, and you can enjoy the Tito's Transfusion cocktail. It's only $8.50 all day. Catch all the Masters action at Twin Peaks. Then get ready for the NBA playoffs starting April 19. Twin Peaks, best place for all things hoops. Head on down there to Twin Peaks and catch all the NBA action while enjoying delicious food and drinks. You also got all kinds of special days coming up. You got National Munchies Day. Didn't know that, did you? It's April 20th. Get over to Twin Peaks and celebrate there. They'll have all kinds of cocktail specials. And the NFL Draft coming up April 24th through 26th. All the draft action will be at your Ultimate Sports Lodge. Round 1 will kick off 6 o'clock on the 24th of April. Don't miss it at Twin Peaks.
This report is
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Over a Big 12 team. They hit them 16-8 after getting swept over the weekend in Fresno. Washington State's coming in for a Mountain West Conference series this week. Yep, that's right. 15, that's a big win for New Mexico over Texas Tech. Just got I'm going to go to the phones here in a second. Got a text from Jeffrey. Any global basketball recruiting news? I said, nope. He said, are you concerned? I'm not. I mean, I know everybody's in a hurry and you feel you got to load up your roster and, oh, my goodness, Donovan Dent signed. And they're going to put this thing together. I'm not super concerned. You want to get quality, or you want to get it done quickly. And hopefully, I think you'd probably like to do both. But no, I'm not overly concerned. I'm just not. You're not either, right?
I'm not.
Robert, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Robert.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Good. How you living?
Yeah, I was calling about the Pac-12 or Pac-2, whatever you want to call them. They've really just screwed things up. You know, I don't know how they want a school. They want to bring in schools that have high budget that can compete in their conference. Yet they don't want to pay them. They don't want them to receive the full share. I just don't understand that. So 6-8 months ago, if you would have said New Mexico State would be in the running, I would have kind of just laughed, because that's not the way to. Are they better than New Mexico, Wyoming, and Nevada? Teams like that. I just don't see it. I haven't seen a conference screw something up so bad in such a long time. It's just it's kind of funny the way that the whole thing has come down. They should have just merged from the get-go, and things would have been great. But who knows what happens from here on out.
A lot of people think that way, Robert. I appreciate you. So, is New Mexico State better than Nevada, New Mexico, Wyoming, whatever? Define better. If they're willing to take half a share, they might be considered better. And those schools are pretty much committed and signed their grants of rights to the Mountain West. I don't know. They keep telling me through the X that they can pluck UNLV. They still think they're going to get UNLV. And it's all going to come down to the lawsuit and the money and the poaching fees, right? Is New Mexico State or Texas State better than New Mexico, Wyoming? Some of you are saying yes. If you're wearing crimson, you're hell yeah, we are. Okay. And I've seen it laid out. Look, they've been to this many NCAA tournaments. Certainly New Mexico State's been to more bowl games recently than New Mexico, haven't they?
That doesn't matter.
I know.
Like, that's not how any of this television revenue is calculated. And I understand the confidence, but there's a lot of smart people that, how did you seem to miss it this bad? Like, just thinking, hey, we're good brands, and once we just fly a Pac-12 banner with Washington State and Oregon State, and we're going to walk into $10+ million revenue deal. It's like, it's a lot of confidence, but there's a lot of people that swung and missed at this point.
Do you feel that flying under this banner has elevated the brands of the 5 schools who left the Mountain West to go to the Pac, or devalued Oregon State and Washington State's brand?
That question has multiple answers to it.
Okay, I've got one of them. I want to hear the rest of them when we come back. Going to give away tickets to go see Creed Summer of '99 tour at 9:10 this morning. You're welcome to get in at 5:05. 246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfasfa.org. That's nmfasfa.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from
Sports Animal. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
I kind of love our break room, our kitchen room, our coffee room. I never knew who I'm going to see. Clark's always got guests, and I'm like, hey, haven't seen you in a long time. It's like reunion time for me. What up? What day is today, JJ? Wednesday, opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, looking to hear from you today, as we are every day at 505-246-0610. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Talking a little bit about the Pac-12 deal, or the TV deal that might trigger whatever happens with the Mountain West, and a lot of conversation. And the Sports Business Journal did put out a story, Ben Portnoy did, that they may be getting close to a stopgap deal with the Pac before they announce who I don't know that they figured it out, their 8th full-time member is. And then you'll get a value on what that's worth, and then maybe start to figure out what the Mountain West's worth. And as all these new media rights deals for the next cycle start to kick in. Text line, Pac-2 doesn't have a clue. Okay. Text line says, it's probably been asked a lot, but the idea of UNM getting into the Pac at this stage is dead, right? Just want to confirm that. I don't know. Can I say highly improbable as opposed to dead?
Yes, you can.
Would that be more accurate?
That would be more accurate. Because I think all these schools in the back of their mind are going, well, we'll be that savior for you. We'll be your Huckleberry.
Now, it will be super expensive because you've all signed that media rights deal. There'll be poaching fees. Now, if the lawsuit goes the way of the Pac and the poaching fees are ruled, and I just don't see this happening, but hell, anything could happen, then I think it's a free-for-all again. But to that texter, dead is probably too much, but highly improbable, I think, would be more accurate. JJ, I've asked somebody that has had a bit of conversation, is the reverse merger, while again highly improbable, is that dead? And I've been kind of referred back to highly improbable again. I just think there's so much bad blood, and it would be such a bad look for those teams who left, for them to come with their tails between their leg and realize, dang. And that's why I don't think that any sort of a merger happens. And you've added now not only Gonzaga into the picture, but you've added Hawaii, UTEP, Grand Canyon, and Northern Illinois.
I think for a reverse merger to
and
come
UC Davis
back into play, you'd have to have the Pac-12 and Mountain West come back together and say, all right, there's no poaching fees. Like, we'll use this money to pay off these schools.
That money being basically the money that Washington State and Oregon State has.
Yeah. Like,
right? It's their money from the Pac-12. It's all the exit fees from the
Pac-12.
Pac-12.
This would be if there is nothing the Pac-12 can do. Like, if there's no schools that are just like, heck yeah, we'll sell our souls just to be under the Pac-12 banner and just get a half share to be here and be your eighth football
Look, and let's be
playing
very real. A half share in the Pac-12 is probably significantly more than a full share in Conference USA or the Sun Belt. But how do you compete?
Yeah.
No, I get it.
You've said that a lot in this when you've kind of discussed, when you're in a conference, how far behind do you want to be just to be in that conference? So I'm painting the scenario of how could this work? Well, would it be, yes, there's a lot of bad blood, but if the Pac-12 is really seeing like there's not a significant bump, like there's nowhere else for them to go to be this conference that they thought they were going to be, well, then you come to the table, and there's going to be hurt feelings for a lot of people. There's going to be decisions that were made that might burn bridges, but if you're just talking about the future of what the West Coast the best conference on the West Coast would be, and you say, hey, we'll take these fees and pretty much pay out UTEP and Northern Illinois, just kind of get them back to wherever they need to be. I think
somebody's got to take them back.
I think they would, man.
You think the MAC would take Northern Illinois back? Conference USA would take?
Because at some point, too, like, really, what do those conferences gain by just saying, no, bleep you, in this landscape of survival?
Or do you take them in? Well, I don't know, you can take them in. All right, let me go back to what we were talking about before the break. So before the break, I asked the Pac as it sits now, right? Washington State, Oregon State, San Diego State, Colorado State, Fresno State, Utah State, Boise State, and Gonzaga State. With everything that's gone on, has going to, and maybe it'll be a different conversation when they're actually playing under that flag, but has going to the Pac-12 elevated the brands of the 5 schools who've left the Mountain West to go to the Pac? Or has it devalued Oregon State and Washington State's brand? Or I imagine it could be neither or both.
So nationally, I do not think it's had an impact. Regionally, those programs feel it's had a gigantic impact.
Well, they feel pretty good about themselves. Yes.
I don't think that nationally, be looking at Boise State and San Diego State and these other schools, like they've had a bump just because they're going to be in the Pac-12.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they all feel better about themselves because they've rid of themselves of the bottom feeders of Wyoming and New Mexico and San Jose State in their minds. I believe, and it's not because of who has been added to the Pac-12, but more so who is left. I believe the brands of Oregon State and Washington State have been diminished. These are two programs who have been in a Power 5 league for as long as I've been around. They were Pac-8 members when I was super young. Then they were Pac-10 members, and they were Pac-12. I remember Ralph Miller and Oregon State and how good those programs were. I lived in Washington State and covered Washington State. I mean, they've had years now. I mean, whether it was Drew Bledsoe or the throwing Samoan Jack Thompson, or I mean, go back there. They were, while not the flag bearers of that league, that would be like a USC or something like that. They were competitive teams in the Pac 8, 10, 12. From where I sit, JJ, I think their brands have been diminished. And not necessarily because now they're in with Colorado State and Utah State and San Diego State, but because they're no longer with SC and Stanford and Cal and Arizona.
Because they got left behind.
Oregon and Washington, yeah.
And yeah, you got an opportunity to keep the flag and money in your coffers, but you still got left behind.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, your peers, and especially your direct peers, like Washington and Oregon, and your Washington State and Oregon State, they're making what, soon to be 80 to 90 million when they get a full share in the Big Ten. Oregon won the Big Ten, didn't they? All right, Washington is going to figure it out.
And this is why you say hurt feelings. Like, people can have hurt feelings, but you have to be able to get over it, because the amount of crying from Washington State and Oregon State when they got left behind and their rivals went somewhere else, and the first thing they did was
do it to someone else.
Like, okay. All
right, let me ask you this, because I think the first part of this is you've got to get to this conclusion. Do you believe it makes the best business sense? And there's a real argument now coming out of San Diego, out of Boise, out of Fort Collins, that it's not. But do you believe the best business model, take all your hurt feelings out, the answer might be would have been to merge the Mountain West with Oregon State and Washington State? You want to add Gonzaga for basketball, great. And hell, fly under the Pac-12 flag. It is a better brand. Pac-12 is a better brand than the Mountain West, yeah. Would that have been the best business decision?
Yes.
Do you believe it still is? And how do you convince, whether it's Jeremiah Dickey, who's the AD at Boise State, or J.D. Wicker, who's the AD at San Diego State, Scott Barnes at Oregon State, how do you convince them that that's the best business decision? Because I think they're going to tell you it's not.
Yeah. I don't know if you can at this point in time.
But if you come to that conclusion, let's just have this conversation under the premise that if you somehow come to the conclusion that, wow, we'd have been valued more, all of us would have gotten more money. Now, again, I don't know if that's right. Doesn't common sense tell you then, again, under the premise, if that's right, I gotta get over my hurt feelings and do what's right for business?
I agree with that sentiment. I don't know if there's enough people in that room that would come to that point. Because to me, like, if this was a step forward, a jumping off point for these programs in the Pac-12, wouldn't they have gotten someone else to join them by now?
Look, if they were going to become what they believed they were going to become, they'd be on the path. And what they believed they were going to become is a power conference. And I believe it. I don't know if they still believe it. They still say it. They still speak it. They still say we will be a power conference.
Speak it into existence.
They are LeVar Ball. Maybe he should be the damn commissioner of that league. If they would have gotten Memphis, Tulane, whatever, and somehow that was going to make them some great conference. Look, if they would have picked up Memphis, Tulane, maybe North Texas, UTSA, whatever. But, and I still argue, so what at that point? But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. They still would not have been a power conference, JJ. They still would not have been an autonomous conference. Who would you say is it the ACC that would be, if you ranked them 1, 2, 3, 4, you'd say SEC, Big 12 are 1 and 1A in whatever, right? SEC, Big 12 are the two dominants.
Big 10.
I'm sorry, Big 10. You're right. Yes, I'm sorry. And then Big 12, then ACC.
Yes.
All right. Are you even close to the ACC at that point? Are you close to Miami, Florida State, Duke, Clemson, Syracuse? Are you close to that? Virginia? You're not. Stanford, Cal? Text line, do you guys think part of the hesitancy to merge could be over control of the conference? If there was a merger under the Pac-12 banner, Gloria would essentially lose her job as commissioner, right? I think there absolutely is a power struggle between Teresa Gould and Gloria. Yeah. I think is that an element to this? Absolutely, I think it is. Who would run this league? Yeah, I think that's a
battles there. Who's commissioner and then who's whatever the number 2 is. Yeah.
All right, 505-246-0610. Let's give away some tickets. We got 2 to give away. Creed Summer of '99 tour at Isleta Amphitheater. It'll be in August. Got 2 of them to give away right now. If you are caller number 3, 505-246-0610. That's how to get here. 505-246-0610, caller 3. You win those tickets, courtesy of your good friend at J.J. Buck. And 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and
460-610. You're welcome to get in. We got a lot of places we got. We got Brock Purdy today. Talk about the pack. 505-246-0610. You're in on the text line. Come on, JJ. You're calling out Oregon State and Washington State for having hurt feelings, but the biggest butthurt fans of this whole Pac-12 have been Lobo fans.
It's not what I said at all.
No, that's not what he said.
And come on and listen for once.
Lobo fans have been butthurt, so have Wyoming fans and Nevada fans, and yeah, everybody who got left behind. Go talk to UNLV fan for a minute.
Yeah, everyone never denied that. There's also a tinge of jealousy. What I was saying was all they did was they went on their woe is me tour.
That's right, they did.
Of we got left behind. How could they do that to us? Our rivals are gone. This is awful. And then they go and just do the exact same thing to someone else. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah. And you're not wrong with that. Everybody who was left behind was butthurt. Pack whatever reminds me of a rock band who only keeps one original member and thinks they still have the same status. That's from Terry. That's actually really good. Yeah, it reminds him of a rock band who keeps one original member and thinks they still have the same status. They keep the name, though. Looks more like when IndyCar circuit split with two factions and everyone suffered. Yeah, I just don't know. Look, the Pac-12 fans or the San Diego State, Boise State, Colorado State fans think they're going to be so much better off. They traded, in their mind, they got rid of San Jose State, New Mexico, Wyoming, and Nevada, Hawaii, and they added Washington State and Oregon State. Somehow it's going to be way, way better for them.
Where was Boise State this year in football?
In football?
Well,
they won the league, didn't they?
Where were they playing in?
What do you mean, where were they playing in? The Mountain West? And they got to the playoff? Yeah.
But yet this was the league that was holding them down. Like, now they're going to, now we're going to be a top 4 seed, like, all the time now. So you did pretty darn good.
Well,
from what you
look.
you
If they all go beat each other up, and they get beat by Washington State, and Washington State gets beat by San Diego State, and Oregon State beats San Diego State, and they all beat each other up, and UNLV runs the table in the Mountain West, or New Mexico, or whomever. Let's see who gets to the playoff. Right? It's just going to be interesting to watch the whole thing play out. I just, people ask me, is there any chance of a merger? I wouldn't bet on it. But for crying out loud, man, the way this thing has gone, I'm not sure I'd bet against anything at this point. Lobo baseball was a winner over Texas Tech. They beat them 15-5 yesterday. Gene's not impressed, JJ. Not that great of a win, Jeff. These aren't Troy's Red Raiders of the past. They're north of 100 net, near the bottom of their league. I wonder if Coach Tim Tadlock's job is in jeopardy. That's what he calls it. I'm not sure Gene has been satisfied with anything Lobos or Isotopes in the last 15 years. Is that fair?
Yeah. Got to do more.
Yeah. Rob, 3 months away from my favorite OD event of the year, Jefferson in Vegas. I can't wait. Yeah, last year I went, I didn't bring back any interviews, did I? Not
Did a
many.
couple.
Yeah. This year will be interesting. Coaches normally say we think we're improved, but our league is so tough that half the clubs are leaving your league because it isn't that great. Is that why they're leaving? They're leaving because they're going to get more money, and they're basically leaving to be with the same people. But okay. Masters tomorrow. Carl says, no Tiger Woods, no Carl, Jeff. I've been listening to the OD for Tiger Woods Masters update for so long, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. You can still listen to the OD, dude. I'll give you Scotty Scheffler updates. I'll give you whoever's out in the morning updates. I mean, should be pretty good. It's still the Masters. You got Bryson. You got, all these dudes. Early tee times tomorrow. Who do you got going out in the early session? You got Mike Weir going out. Zach Johnson. Let's see. Where do I start getting some dudes? Billy Horschel at 7. These are all Eastern times. 7:30, so 5:36. So when we're on the air, Scotty Scheffler's going out. Justin Thomas, Jason Day, Phil Mickelson, Keegan Bradley, Jordan Spieth, Tony Finau. Got a lot of dudes going out early while we're on the air tomorrow, JJ. Sergio.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Yeah. Got plenty to watch, plenty to listen for. John says, good hump day morning, fellas. I think that Brock Purdy is damn good as the Niners quarterback, and he should get an extension. However, since I'm not a 49er fan, I'm a Bo Nix fan. I love the way Bo Nix is getting better and better with the Denver Broncos. Purdy and Nix, two very good quarterbacks, no doubt. All right, but where would you slot Brock Purdy? Look, when you say someone's getting $50, $60 million a year, you just, whatever. None of us can fathom. Percentage of salary cap is the number that might make you feel better by looking at it. And as the cap goes up, so will quarterback salaries. It's just the way it is. And the average frontline quarterback is making between 21 and 25% of the salary cap, which, by the way, is bonkers to me. If you want to tell me that's way out of whack, I'm not sure I'm going to argue, but that's the way it is. So what do you do with Brock Purdy? What do you do? Do you sign him? What if you don't sign him? Shedeur Sanders going to visit the Steelers, JJ.
Pretty interesting that he'd take that visit.
Uh-huh. He's visited the Giants and Browns, but he's going to go to Pittsburgh tomorrow. Steelers have the 21st pick. They didn't meet with Shedeur at the scouting combine. They didn't go to his pro day in Boulder last week. But now they want him to come in as he's sliding. If he's there at 21, and look, you got 2 weeks till the draft. If they haven't signed Aaron Rodgers by then, to me that's an obvious at 21.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
yeah,
the Shedeur slide, it's a lot different for the Jets, the Saints, the 49ers, the Steelers. You're like, let's look into this a little bit.
Okay, if he's there at 21, it's a no-brainer. I think the question is...
He won't be there at 21.
I don't think he will.
Someone's going to make a move.
So, do you make the move? Are you that someone? That's what I think this is about. Do you jump up to, I don't know if you go as high as 7 to the Jets, but do you go 10 to the Raiders? Do you go 12? Hell, do you go to 11 with the Niners? Right? I think that's what this is about. I agree with you. If you're banking on he's going to stick around and he's going to be there at 21, I think you lose. Because if it does play out that way, to me, that's the easiest no-brainer of the draft. If Shador's there at 21, you're the Steelers, you take him. Right?
Yes, you do.
Because what do you got? Especially if you've not signed Aaron Rodgers by then. All right, 505-246-0610. Adrian's producing on the visuals. You can watch us on Xfinity Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico. When we come back, Luka's going to be in Dallas tonight. Does last night's ejection have any effect on him? And what do you expect? This is a big game for the Lakers tonight. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is the...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area.
Rockies lose again last night. Dodgers lost yesterday. Will you help me understand why? I understand that the Athletics are in a temporary home. And there's no hometown associated with the Athletics and the Standards. They, you go look at the abbreviations. Everybody's got a 2 or 3 letter abbreviation. BAL for Baltimore, LAD for Los Angeles Dodgers, DET for Detroit, ATH for Athletics. They're in Sacramento, man. Why can't we call them for a couple of years? Why can't they be called Sacramento? What's the issue?
Over their skis ownership group, not wanting to do that.
They're just better than Sacramento?
Yep.
But Sacramento took them in and gave them a place to live and sleep. For here, come sleep on my couch. Well,
yeah, goodness gracious, I'm blanking.
Yeah.
Kings ownership or something is kind of involved with AAA team. So it was something where they were buddy buddies. So we'll give you a stadium play in.
Yeah, and I watched the game last night. They played the Padres, and I mean, if you're just watching the game, you can't tell the difference.
It's the ownership group that just kicked Oakland to the curb.
Right.
That's their attitude. So why would they go in and embrace Sacramento?
I mean, they are the Sacramento A's now. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's where you're playing. It's your home for a couple of years until Las Vegas builds you a home, and then you could be Las Vegas. I don't understand. If I'm in Sacramento, I'm kind of pissed, to be honest with you. Probably chokes me a little bit. All right, Luka's going to go back to Dallas today. I think this is a really interesting. It's an ESPN game. It's at 5:30. I think this is a really interesting watch tonight on a number of fronts. I think the fan base is going to do everything they can to go out of their way to cheer him at every step, just to piss off ownership, right?
Yep, I can see that.
To send a message to Nico, what's his name?
Nico Harrison.
Yep. I think Luka goes nuts tonight. I don't even know what the spread is. I'll find it for you. I'm going to guess Lakers by 6.5. It's where is it? It's Lakers by 3.5. I think Lakers roll them tonight. Now, AD probably has something to say about it, and he's been playing well now that he's healthy. But I'm interested, man. Now, he got thrown out of the game last night. By the way, Dallas is in that final play-in spot, comfortably in. They're 3 games clear of Phoenix with 3 to go. So they're comfortably in. There's no way out. They're locked into the play-in tournament and into the 9-10 game. So they don't have a lot to play for, but I'm going to guess they have a little bit to play for, if that makes sense.
Yes, they do.
Hey, Ben, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Ben?
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I actually just tuned into the radio. I heard you guys talking about the Athletics.
Yeah.
And my buddy lives out in Vegas, and from what he's been telling me and from what's been going on out in Vegas, I'm not sure it's a sold deal. They're going to Vegas. They've had city council meetings, Clark County council meetings out in Vegas to break ground at the old Tropicana site.
Yep.
The first one was in November of 2024. They got pushed back till March of this year. That has now been pushed back again.
Yep, all that's right. Like they've cleared the site. Yeah.
What my buddy said is a lot of locals in Vegas don't want the Athletics there. They don't know if it's going to be a big sell. And I think they're thinking now the land value for what it could be rather than just a baseball stadium is a lot more, if you know what I'm talking about. It's built on casinos.
Yep, I do know what you're talking about.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, no, and I've been there a couple times this year. That area is cleared. Right across the MGM.
Gigantic pile of rubble.
Well, it's cleared though, right? I mean, it's fenced off and it's cleared. That old Tropicana site is cleared. But yeah, I don't know, as much as that ownership group feels like it's a done deal. Everything I hear from the people I know there too, that it's not a done deal. Now, the way I understand it is because what happens to the minor league team? That minor league team's been there for a long time too. Don't be surprised if that gets sold and ends up in Boise, and they build them a new ballpark in Boise for AAA baseball. But I'm hearing the same thing that Ben's hearing. That while it's probable, I don't know that I think it's a done deal that they're going to Vegas either. So then what? Did they just trip around? They're like the Harlem Globetrotters? Like the
barnstorming tour.
What's the banana? What are the Savannah Bananas? Yeah, they're like them. They just run around. Hey, we're going to play a home series in Albuquerque, and then we're going to play a home series in Syracuse, and then we're going to go stop in Des Moines. And actually, it's not a horrible idea unless you're a ball player who wants to have a home for the summer. You want to be on the road for 6 months straight. But I guess that's what those guys are anyway, right? What do you expect out of Luka tonight? So you went under my 36.5. What's the number that make you think 27.5? I don't even know what the over-under is tonight on him. But what would make
Luka like 28, 10, and 11?
Right, that's right on my number, right? I mean, that 28 and 11. All right, betting pros. Come on, hit me with this. I hate doing this. All right, Doncic tonight, 31.5. That's the number. So you're under that tonight, huh? Fair enough. It's funny looking at the analysis too. He got thrown out last night. By the way, if you didn't see it last night, you got to go take a look at it. He gets thrown out of the game. He was jawing with this fan. What's the guy called? The bearded heckler? What's the guy?
Courtside tattoo man?
Courtside tattoo guy? All right. The courtside tattoo dude.
Dude.
That's what he goes by.
Dude.
So him and Luka were jawing. Luka hit a shot, and you could see the dude standing up, yelling at him. But right between Luka and the fan is the referee. The same referee who had just given him a technical for using profanity directed towards the referee about 4 minutes earlier. And the referee thought he was yelling at him, and he teed him up and threw him out of the game. And demonstratively threw him out of the game. I mean, he was happy to do it now. At the time, it was a 1-point game. Lakers go on and lose the game. As Oklahoma responds, Oklahoma City went on a 28-11 run. It was 109-108 Lakers when Luka Doncic got thrown out of the game. And I'm going to agree with you. The more I thought about this, JJ, you said, Luka's got 8. As bad as it was, and it was probably intended towards the fan, Luka complains, whines, bitches, moans all the time.
Was already on one technical.
But with that same official. At some point, you got to know the situation. Right? People talk about situational basketball, situational football. You know the situation. Some point, you got to own who you are, know who you are, own the situation, realize your value, and you're out of mulligans, dude. And you gripe almost as much as LeBron James. Almost. And you've got that reputation.
They're a great mentor. They are on the same page.
Look, man. Yes. If you're a referee and you're assigned to that game and you got those two dudes on the same team, you better have some thick skin.
Yeah,
and if you had a bad
know
day,
what you're stepping into.
Yeah, and if you had a bad day, I feel for you, because your day's going to get a whole lot worse. Because you can't make a good call, not with those two. J.J. Redick's the Lakers coach. It was a great game that unfortunately didn't get to finish out the way I think every basketball fan would want because of some decision-making on some individuals' parts. Yeah, I think universally it's realized that it was bad. And again, the lead official on this told the pool that Doncic had used profanity directed towards the officials for this first technical, then looked directly at an official and used vulgar language. That was how he said it, to get his second technical foul. Got ejected. And as I told you earlier, I very rarely believe that fans have any outcome on a game. But absolutely last night, the courtside tattoo dude got a win. I hope everybody bought it. I hope he didn't buy his own beer last night. Like, people better have bought that dude beer. Because He got Luka thrown out. He's their snake, right?
Yeah, and all this is going to do, it's going to reinforce fans going at players.
100%. Especially at that particular player. Especially at that one. All right, we'll wrap you up and get you home when we come back. 505-246-0610. Emails jeff@sportsanimалabq.com, jj@sportsanimалabq.com. Adrian is producing on the ProView Network side. You can watch the show on our Facebook page. The OD and the AM are on Xfinity Channel 26. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Network.
Up on a Wednesday, getting you home. What do you got to know as you go through your Wednesday? Luka Doncic was thrown out of the game last night in Oklahoma City. Lakers were up by a point when he got thrown out with a little over 7 minutes to go. Second technical. He was barking at a courtside fan called the sideline tattoo dude or whatever. Lakers then got outscored 28-11 by Oklahoma City down the stretch. Thunder 136-120. Tonight, Luka returns to Dallas for the first time since being traded away from the Mavericks. 5:30, you'll be able to watch that game tonight. What else do you got to know as you go through your day? Michael Malone was fired yesterday, as was the general manager at the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets with 3 games to go will play their first game since the firing. They'll be in Sacramento. Oh, we just got to call them the Kings? Can we call them Sacramento?
Call them the Kings.
They'll be in Sacramento tonight to play the Kings. You got Major League Baseball and NBA going on in California's capital tonight. What else you got as far as what do you got to know? The Cleveland Cavaliers clinched the number 1 seed in the East. Darius Garland scored 28 points. Evan Mobley, 21-11. Cavs win 135-113 over the Bulls last night, and they will be the number 1 seed in the East. If you had that in Vegas before the season started, go cash your ticket. That should pay you pretty well. I don't know what the numbers were. Yeah, I don't know what the numbers were, but going into it. Minnesota blew a 24-point lead. They got outscored 39-8 to the Timberwolves in the final 10 minutes. Got stunned 110-103 to the Bucks. Timberwolves started the game in a 4-way tie for 5th in the West. Now they're alone in 8th, and that puts them, as of now, into the play-in tournament.
That's wild.
It is. Watching that whole thing is wild.
A 24-point lead, and you're from 5th to play-in.
At least they didn't fire their coach yet.
No.
I mean, not that I know of.
True.
And then tomorrow, today you get the par 3 tournament at the Masters. Do you watch that at all? Is that something that kind of does anything for you?
It doesn't.
I love it. It's the families that go out there. So you'll watch all these players go out, and there'll be hole-in-ones, and it's set up for for the ball to trickle down to the hole. The caddies take shots, and the families are out, and little kids, and it's a tradition unlike any other.
I like it for the clips, but
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. No, you know what? I will get tired of watching tariff news in my office by midday, and I will put on the par 3 at the Masters in the office whilst I'm working. Big announcement this morning, 10:30, UNM and New Mexico United are announcing a partnership of some sort. 10:30 press conference. Are you not aware of that?
I'm aware of it.
Oh, okay.
They sell in the stadium?
That would be the worst thing ever. That would be the worst thing. Oh, look, they're going to play there. No, I don't know what it is. That'll be there. In fact, I got an 11 o'clock Zoom that I'm not going to be. I always get. You never go to these things, man. I get. Sometimes I got stuff on the calendar.
Who do you think you are?
I got an executive committee call at 11 o'clock, dude. I can show you the agenda. I have to take the minutes. I get like 2 more months. I'm secretary. Then I move up to treasurer. Then I just got to deal with the money. I don't have to do the minutes anymore. I'm not sure which one.
Committee work.
Yeah, it's committee work.
Got it. Trying to find some committees.
What else are you looking at tonight? Lakers, Dallas is big. San Antonio will be in Golden State, or in San Francisco. Big game for the Warriors. Denver, Sacramento. How does that play tonight, dude? Sacramento is in the play-in tournament, trying to find their way through it. Denver just fired their coach, and Sacramento's locked in. Like, they're locked into the 9-10. They have nothing really to play for. I don't.
ESPN, 8 p.m.
Nuggets rip them tonight? Even more interesting to watch. And by the way, another big one is Houston and Clippers tonight. It's a really big game for the Clippers. Do the Nuggets, now with a new head coach, does their rotation change? Is it less Westbrook and more of the young guys?
Or the other way around.
Or the other way around, depending
There's been
on
less Westbrook the last few games.
But what does management want? What basically probably dictated to the interim coach Adelman, basically saying, "I want." You're gonna get a pretty good idea what they want, right?
What the ownership group wants, which is
Yes.
usually never a good thing when they're making decisions when it comes to playing time.
Look, man, when you're coaching the game from the suite upstairs, you got a problem. Yes.
And that's where it's a giant unknown. You had two guys button heads, Michael Malone and Booth, but then you blow them both out. So what side are you taking then? Now are you
Neither.
just completely stepping back and then letting Adelman do what he wants for 3 games in the postseason?
I'm
because
gonna,
if
I'm going to guess no. I'm going to guess.
But if you felt one way or the other, why would you fire them both at the same time? If you're going to side with one strategy or the other.
No, but they have to feel one way, don't they? Or is there a third way to feel?
Because if they felt one way, like if they're like, you know
They
what,
decided with one of the kids.
That's what I feel like.
Right. But is there a third way to feel? Is there a third way to go with this?
Yes.
What's that?
Just let the coaching staff figure it out because you know the.
But that
end
would have
is
been
right
that would have
on
been
the
Michael Malone's way. Then you fire the GM, and that's it.
No, it would just be, you're done with everyone.
All right.
We are not sending you a mandate of what you have to do, because I think it's desperation, and they're like, well, will this ignite a fire under Aaron Gordon, and all of a sudden is Jamal Murray going to be healthy because you fired
No.
coaching GM? No.
That's why I'm saying, if you made your decision, if you wanted to shake something up now, fire your damn GM, and then let the coach to the playoffs and fire him the day after they get knocked out, whenever that happens to be. And people are going to come to you and you know, what about coach's future and whatever. I'm not commenting while we're playing. We're not going to get into this. We're not. And then the day after, you call them in and say, hey, I made up my mind a month and a half ago. You're out. We're going a different direction. And by the way, Michael Malone earned that. You can side with Michael Malone, and he's going to be fine, and he's going to get a job, and he's made a lot of money, and he's a champion, and all those things, the head coach that got fired. But here's a guy who stuck it out with you for 10 years and won you a damn championship, and you're going to do him like that? You're going to cut him off 3 games left in the regular season and somehow think you're making a statement? The statement you made is you don't handle things the right way. That guy won you a championship. That guy has, by every account, been a pretty good citizen, no? I mean, look, is a head coach...
This is one where you could have been done with Michael Malone, but firing him right now just reeks of desperation in a franchise that's trending in the wrong direction.
It reeks of crap. This is a bunch of... What is that? That is
This is crap.
That is a crap. This is a crap. You don't like where you're going. If somehow you think you're going to win a championship now because you fired him, I'll listen to you. I'm probably not going to agree with you, but I want to hear the rationale. But that dude earned a better way for that to end. After 10 years with that franchise and raising a banner, you're going to do him like that? That is a crap. Tomorrow we will have the Masters going on whilst we're on the air. We will respond to Luka returning to Dallas and how the Nuggets played after the firing of their coach. The Herd with Colin Cowherd is next. Jim Rome shows after that. Two Men On's in at 4. Isotopes in Sugarland tonight. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Adrian did great work, as always. Thank you on the visuals. He is J.J. Buck. I am Jeff Symbieta. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you tomorrow.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans,